in this video. What's common between Pecco Bagnaia, Jorge Martin and Fabio Quartararo? Darryn Binder is a bigger risk, says RNF Racing boss Razlan Razali. And heading to World SBK, Iker Lecuona says MotoGP was not fair to him. My name is Sankalp and this is your Racing News Fix. What's common between Pecco Bagnaia, Jorge Martin and Fabio Quartararo? The answer is Jorge Lorenzo. Let me explain. Jorge Lorenzo has had a lot of success on the Yamaha. He has won all his Premier Class titles in blue colours, and although his Ducati stint was not as good, by the middle of his second and final year in red colours, Lorenzo had the Desmos CDG all figured out. And even though he retired in 2019, he continues to teach the current riders his secrets to taming a MotoGP bike. In separate interviews, 2021 runner-up Pecco Bagnaia, Rookie of the Year Jorge Martin and the recently crowned world champion Fabio Quartararo gave credit to Jorge Lorenzo for helping them improve on their respective bikes. Starting with Pecco, he said, "I worked a lot with these tires and this bike and with the data of Jorge Lorenzo. And the difference I can make now is only in the last part of braking. I brake as hard as I can, but I think I make the difference in the entrance of the corner." Ducati team manager Davide Tarzosi confirms the similarities between Lorenzo from 2018 and Pecco from 2021. Tarzosi said, "They took some pictures from 2018. Pecco this year is a photocopy of that Jorge Lorenzo who drove the Ducati in an extraordinary way. Too bad that the rush and adrenaline of the riders market led us to part ways." 2021 rookie Jorge Martin also revealed that right before his first ever MotoGP win at Austria, he had taken a trip to Lugano in Switzerland where he met Jorge Lorenzo and understood from him the point of reference to tame a Ducati. Martin said, "He gave me some useful tips. I changed my riding style and I improved a lot. And partly it is thanks to him." And the best of all, 2021 world champion Fabio Quartararo. When we saw Fabio riding the M1 in factory blue for the first time, we immediately saw Jorge Lorenzo's shadow on the track. Fabio admits, "I used to watch Jorge Lorenzo very often. He used to look incredibly smooth in his riding. I also think that's exactly how you have to ride the Yamaha. In that regard, Jorge helped me a lot." When Darryn Binder's move to MotoGP was confirmed, there were a lot of raised eyebrows everywhere. RNF Racing team principal and owner Razlan Razali spoke about the decision regarding Darryn Binder and the risk involved. Razali said, "We like to do something different. You know, from day one, we tried to do it differently. With Fabio, it was a risk in 2019 and this time we are taking a greater risk with Darryn because he is from Moto3. If you look at his size, his weight, the disadvantage that he has had in Moto3 and the way for him to make up the places, to brake hard and to attack, we thought that there was something in him. We felt that we needed to give him a chance and try him out. Being an underdog is what we like. You can be full of surprises, but at the same time, it can be bad for us. But that's what being an underdog is all about." And heading towards World SBK in factory Honda colours, Iker Lecuona ended his MotoGP career for now in a strong way. Over most of the second half of the season, Lecuona has been the fastest KTM, although the final results might not show the same. And the reason for that is lack of experience. He used to push a bit too much and lose a bunch of places in the race. And that lack of experience is exactly what Iker's gripe is with MotoGP. Iker said, "MotoGP was not fair to me. My mistake was not to have been promoted in MotoGP too young. It was the circumstances that prevailed when I arrived in the Premier Class. I experienced only 2 full years, which were both in the middle of the pandemic, in which we couldn't do a normal World Championship. Due to this crisis, I completed far fewer races than usual 2 seasons and consequently rode fewer kilometers on a bike that was difficult to understand in the first place. Additionally, I missed 3 races from the already shortened 2020 season. Further pointing out the fact that 2020 rookies were still rookies in 2021 at certain tracks, Lecuona continued. The pandemic crisis has also meant that in 2020, we were unable to ride some races that were on the calendar this year. They were therefore new to me and of course that also had an effect on the performance. That's why I think it was unfair. I think it had nothing to do with my age. Maybe I wasn't 100% ready when I came to the big class, but I had what it takes to fight in MotoGP. I think that was also shown when I was able to fight for top 10 places in the first year, and again many times this season." What do you think? Did Iker's MotoGP stint end way too soon? And do you blame KTM for bringing up young talent too soon and getting rid of them before they have had time to mature? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it till here, let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. To stay up to date on all things MotoGP, hit the subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell. Here are 2 more videos which you might enjoy. My name is Sankalp and I'll be back with another video very soon.